Okay, let's dive in. We're setting the scene on a specific night. It's Washington, D.C., Tuesday, September 7th, 2010, about 11 to 4 p.m.
Yeah, one of those really muggy, heavy DC nights.
Yeah.
You know the kind.
Exactly. And you've got this high-ranking FBI commander, Steve Day. He's just had a nice dinner, feeling secure, stepping into his armored limo. That feeling of safety, though.
It lasts about 60 seconds. Because in that minute, everything changes. His security, his life, and honestly, the stability of the FBI's high-tech Net Force division. It all just shatters.
Utterly destroyed by this incredibly professional, almost military-style hit.
It's a brutal but really effective way to kick off this whole crisis. The sources we're looking at today, they really pull you into that deep state world,
Yeah.
Specifically Net Force.
And for anyone maybe not familiar, Net Force isn't your standard FBI unit.
No, not at all. It's this specialized multi-agency group set up to handle the really advanced threats, both digital and physical. Think cyber warfare meets real-world ops. It operates in that whole tactical universe Tom Clancy conceptualized.
So it ties into those bigger geopolitical stories, like Red Rabbit or Rainbow Six.
Exactly. Same kind of high-stakes, global security theater, complex stuff.
So our goal today, our mission for this deep dive, it's not just recounting the plot.
No, we need to cut through all the noise. There's the political angle, there's this deliberate frame-up involving organized crime, massive global cyber chaos.
We want to understand how that ancient tactic, political assassination, got tangled up with bleeding-edge digital spying and ultimately identify the person pulling the strings.
The ghost in the machine. The mastermind who figured killing one specific man could set off this international chain reaction, all to serve his own very specific goals.
Okay, so let's break down the attack itself. To really get the precision, we need to start with the target, Commander Steve Day.
Right. He's an interesting figure. He was a political appointee, yes, but he wasn't just some desk jockey. He had serious field experience.
And that's key to understanding his choices, particularly his personal security.
Absolutely. It explains why he's stuck with his old SIG .40 pistol.
Yeah, the sources mention he rejected the newer wireless KT's kick tasers, which seems maybe a little counterintuitive for a top intelligence guy. Wouldn't he want the option to capture someone?
That's the field veteran mindset kicking in. He fundamentally distrusted anything wireless, anything relying on complex firmware, especially when, lives are on the line. Milliseconds count.
So he saw the kick taser as a potential failure point, a delay.
Exactly. A compromise waiting to happen. For Day, that SIG 40 was reliable. It was proven. He understood the difference between an intelligence tool and a survival weapon.
Makes sense. And speaking of tools, he carried the ultimate Net Force gadget, the Virgil.
The Virgil, yeah. This thing is where the tech just gets wild, described as no bigger than a pack of cigarettes.
But it did basically everything.
Everything. Secure computer, phone, GPS, clock, TV, modem, credit card camera, scanner. Even a weave wire fax. All hyper-digitally scrambled, designed to be just about impossible to hack.
Hold on, a weave wire fax? In something that small? How's that even work?
It's specialized Net Force engineering. Basically, it sends tiny data packets over secure frequencies. Super compressed, super fast. Think of it like an ultra-secure digital telegram for documents or forensic data. Built for speed, not for, sending recipes.
And the GPS, the sources say it didn't have commercial civilian fudge factors. What does that mean, practically?
Okay, so the GPS on your phone, it's intentionally degraded slightly by defense systems, prevents enemies from using it for military targeting. That's the fudge factor.
Ah, okay.
Day's Virgil, though, it tapped into the full military satellite grid, accurate to within 5 meters, anywhere on Earth, real-time, untouchable data. He was never truly off-grid.
Wow. And there's that great anecdote about the cheesecake fingerprint.
Right. If he'd wanted to, he could have lifted a fingerprint from the powdered sugar on his dessert, scanned it with a Virgil, hit the Net Force mainframes.
And get the waiter's full ID and history before he finished his bite.
Pretty much. That kind of instant data access, that's what made Day and Net Force such a powerful force and such a target.
Which explains why the hit had to be so absolute, so surgical.
Yeah, the protocol itself was like a mini military operation. The limo wasn't just stopped randomly.
No, it was an explosive. A repurposed U.S. Army anti-tank mine, placed under a manhole cover.
And the details matter. The sources mentioned taggants traced it back to a batch from the Gulf War.
Taggants? Those are like microscopic serial numbers for explosives, right?
Exactly. Tiny chemical identifiers. Finding Gulf War taggants points towards a serious supply chain, either state-level or highly organized crime. Definitely not some amateur.
And that mine wasn't even the end of it. It disabled the limo, shoved it into a pole, but the armor held.
So phase 2. They immediately used a marine limpet charge, Israeli surplus apparently, blew the rear door right off its hinges.
Just created an entry point.
Total overkill.
Designed to guarantee success. Then the shooters moved in. Professionals, 9mm pistols and submachine guns. Aiming for the head, knowing he'd have body armor.
But even facing that, Day and his bodyguard, Boyle, they fought back.
They did. Boyle got off 12 rounds. Day managed 3. And this is critical for later. Day actually hit one of the attackers in his dying moments.
Yeah, showed that field instinct. Hit one guy named Nicholas 3 times in the head before he went down.
That detail, the fact that one of the attackers died, that gave Net Force their first real forensic thread, didn't it?
It did. But the immediate fallout, pure chaos, political nightmare. Day's protege, Alex Michaels, gets the call just after midnight.
And within the hour, his boss, Carver, promotes him. Makes him acting commander of Net Force while he's still reeling from his mentor's death.
Talk about a painful promotion. And the pressure was insane. Michaels had to pull everything together. All the forensic data, the horror of it.
And prep a full briefing for the president and the national security team by 7:30 the next morning.
He had, what, 6 hours? 6 hours to make sense of it all and convince the most powerful people on the planet that Net Force wasn't compromised. One wrong step, his career's over.
No time to grieve, just focus.
Total focus. He used that immediate authority to throw every resource at finding out who ordered the hit. The big problem, though, the evidence trail they found. It screamed mob hit, but the tech felt wrong, felt bigger.
So Michaels is in the Oval Office. It's barely dawn. He's running on fumes, adrenaline, grief.
And he has to present this chaotic mess of evidence, the professional hit, that weird old anti-tank mine, in a way that makes political sense. Fast.
So he leans into the mob connection?
It was almost unnecessary evil at that point, a shortcut. He used pattern analysis, showed how the ammo, the way the attack went down, matched known mob hits, even if maybe deep down he suspected the tech was too advanced.
He focused on the untraceable ammo, right? Factory-loaded 9mm subsonic rounds, and that specific bomb under the limo, then the limpet charge on the door.
Exactly. He built this narrative, using holographic images in the briefing, no less, showing how this pattern directly linked to other recent high-profile hits.
Like Thomas Big Run O'Rourke in New York.
Joseph D'Amato, the Dixie Mafia guy down in New Orleans.
And Peter Heitzman in Newark. All killed using that same distinctive method.
A method strongly associated with one specific crew. Ray Gentiloni's ICE team. Gentiloni being the head of the NYC 5 families.
And the conclusion was politically easy to swallow, even if maybe flawed, that Gentiloni ordered the hit on Day.
Plausible enough, forensically, and the White House ran with it. Immediately put massive pressure on the FBI to go after Gentiloni. Hard.
Which happened instantly, right? Gentiloni finds out his secure line is tapped by Net Force.
And he loses it. Absolutely furious. Not just because they're listening in, but because he knows he's being framed.
The sources are pretty clear on that. He denies killing a Fed. That's the line you just don't cross in his world.
Exactly. The blowback is too severe. Career-ending, life-ending, potentially. He knew someone was setting him up, which just fueled his anger.
And this is where the mastermind's plan gets really insidious. They counted on Gentiloni reacting like this. They'd already set the next piece of the trap.
The poison bait, as Net Force analysts later called it.
This involved Luigi Sampson, Gentiloni's enforcer.
Yeah. His abduction and presumed deletion. This wasn't subtle. It was designed to look exactly like an FBI snatch job.
How'd they manage that?
Pure tradecraft. The abduction team, Ruggiero, a Chechen, and Grigory the Snake, a Russian vet that they didn't wear masks, they used perfect forged FBI IDs.
And the vehicle
Had plates blind issued to the actual NYC FBI motor pool. Untraceable back to them, points straight at the feds.
So Gentiloni's people see guys with FBI IDs driving an FBI car, grab their guy in broad daylight.
No room for doubt.
Yeah.
And when Sampson apparently asked why they were taking him, Ruggiero's answer was cold, precise. To feed the wolves a poison bait.
Explicitly telling him the goal was to escalate things, to make Gentiloni think Net Force was coming after his people, making war.
Forcing him to retaliate, which cements the official story from Michael's bosses, takes the heat off the real players. It locks everyone into this false narrative.
And Gentiloni, he fell for it completely.
Buckle, line and sinker. Believing the FBI killed Sampson and framed him for Day, he decides he needs his own payback. He needs a specialist.
Which just pushes the crisis deeper. The mastermind successfully used old mob dynamics to hide a very modern, very high-tech operation.
Okay, so if the mob didn't order Day's assassination, where does the trail lead?
It points to someone with way more resources, right?
Yeah.
State-level tech, access to top-tier assassins, mastery of cyber warfare.
Exactly. Which brings us finally to the ghost behind it all, Vladimir Plekhanov.
Operating out of Grozny, Chechnya. He's the architect of this whole thing. We need to understand why he'd go to such extreme lengths.
His motive is rooted in, well, perceived necessity. He's Russian-born, but his loyalty is with Chechnya. He has this grand plan.
A plan driven by economics.
Yeah, Chechnya's main resource, oil, is running out fast. Plekhanov sees a future built on something else, on economic power, regional influence. But to achieve that shift, to gain political clout,
He needed a distraction, a massive one, big enough to tie up the entire U.S. digital defense apparatus.
precisely. And what's fascinating about Plekhanov, the sources highlight this sort of personal contradiction.
The VR gear, right. He's orchestrating this global chaos, but using bulky, old-school VR gloves and a helmet. Not the sleek new stuff.
Yeah. And he insists on using a QWERTY keyboard layout, not the faster, more efficient Dvorak pattern.
Why? Just habit.
It seems so. It's a great little detail about human nature, isn't it? Even a digital mastermind defaults to muscle memory under pressure. 45 years typing on QWERTY. Comfort beats efficiency when you're, launching an international crisis. Old habits die hard, even for cybervillains.
And his cyber campaign? It was absolutely devastating in scope. Day's assassination was just the opening shot, the physical part.
Oh, yeah. The digital sabotage was designed to overwhelm, to stretch NetForce resources so thin they couldn't possibly focus on him in Grozny.
It was like a multi-pronged attack.
Basically, first, more physical stuff to raise the alarm globally. He bombs a joint CIA NetForce coast over in Germany. Crude, the source says, but effective. Confirms to the U.S. they're under serious coordinated attack.
Then he turns his attention to Asia, specifically India.
Unleashes pure chaos there, primarily targeting public infrastructure. He engineered a massive failure of traffic light systems across Bombay.
And the results were bad.
Horrific. Not just fender benders. We're talking huge pile-ups on major roads. Marine Drive alone, they estimated 600 fatalities, hundreds more injured. Emergency services totally paralyzed. He weaponized the city against itself using code.
Just unbelievable. And he didn't stop with traffic lights.
No. Air traffic control systems were next. Caused 4 plane crashes, including a sightseeing plane.
That hit the Gateway to India monument. The symbolism.
Pure psychological warfare. Create mass casualties, sow chaos, make it look random. It forces India to turn inward, focus on recovery, takes them off the global stage, while Plekhanov works his plan.
He also went after individuals, didn't he? The Thai prime minister.
Pure political sabotage. He somehow got hold of the prime minister's personal, very explicit pornography.
Showing him with women who were definitely not his wife.
And uploaded it straight to net news. Recognizable images. The scandal was immediate, global. It effectively paralyzed the Thai government, forcing them to deal with that internal crisis.
So bombings, traffic chaos, plane crashes, political scandals.
Yeah.
Anything to keep NetForce scattered.
Exactly. Looking everywhere but Chechnya, chasing state actors, terrorists, domestic hackers, anyone but Plekhanov.
But here's the really clever part, the geopolitical judo move.
The Kyiv intelligence leak, yes. While all this chaos is happening, Plekhanov deliberately leaks intel to NetForce about a planned terrorist attack on the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv, Ukraine.
Why would he do that? Help the Americans.
He was using them, using their response mechanism as his own tool. See, the group planning that embassy attack, they were fanatics, a loose cannon, as the source puts it. Unpredictable.
So a threat to Plekhanov's own plans for the region.
Potentially. They might damage Ukraine's economy, hurt innocent Chechens, maybe. So he lets the Americans handle it, points NetForce right at them.
They take out his potential problem for him.
He gets to, as he apparently noted, kill several birds with one stone. Creates global chaos to hide his main goal, and uses the resulting security scramble to eliminate local threats to his long-term stability. Day's death was just the entry fee for this much larger game.
Okay, so Plekhanov sets the stage with chaos. But to keep that mob frame-up alive, to keep the pressure squarely on Michaels, he needed an actual assassin.
A ghost. Someone utterly lethal, completely untraceable. Enter Maura Sullivan, codename the Selkie.
Described as the highest-paid freelance assassin in the world.
Truly motivated by money. She wanted $10 million to retire comfortably. Her rates were insane, $25,000 a day just on standby. Contract started at $250,000.
And her whole operation was built on anonymity, that voice scrambler.
Yeah, incredibly high-tech. Didn't just warp her voice. It made her sound like a specific type of person, a middle-aged, authoritative man. Midwestern TV announcer voice, the source says. Fooled even sophisticated voice analysis.
Plus multiple identities, elaborate backstories.
Master of disguise, paper trails, electronic footprints, all preparing for retirement as this petite Irish woman. Daughter of an IRA man, apparently. Felt she'd earned it.
Her first job targeting NetForce directly, probably set up by Plekhanov's people to reinforce the Gentiloni frame, was to go after Alex Michaels himself.
And her disguise for this was, well, inspired in a creepy way. Phyllis Markham, an old woman, limping.
Even rented a dog, a toy poodle named Scout.
Part of the cover. Who suspects the sweet old lady with the fluffy dog? The limp covered her agility, and the cane, though, was a hidden weapon. She was watching Michael's condo, ready to make her move.
But then pure chance intervenes.
Scout the poodle just barks unexpectedly.
Breaks Michael's focus for just a split second.
Enough. He was already on high alert after Day's murder. Had his taser ready. The bark draws his attention. He sees something's wrong, raises the taser. The Selkie knows she's blown it, and she flees.
A yapping poodle saves the acting commander of NetForce and gives them their first real lead on the assassin.
You bet. Michaels' team, especially Jay Gridley, went into overdrive. Traced that poodle rental.
Back to a Holiday Inn in Schenectady, New York, under the name Angela Anybody.
Yep. Got surveillance footage of her in disguise. Image enhancement helped them figure out her actual build, small woman, size 6 shoe, maybe 115, 125 pounds, probably a natural redhead.
But the absolute jackpot was the print she left behind.
When she fled Michaels' place, she slipped slightly, pushed off a wall, left a clean palm print, fingerprints.
And that print, it was a 1 in a million hit.
An absolute miracle of old tech meeting new. The print matched hard copy records from Ireland, taken when she was 8 years old. Morris Sullivan, daughter of that IRA guy.
Hard copy, so it wasn't even digitized until much later.
Exactly. Pure luck. If it hadn't been physically archived way back then, they might never have ID'd her.
But before NetForce can act on this ID, Gentiloni makes his move. Still convinced NetForce killed Samson and is framing him.
He hires the Selkie to retaliate, to kill Michaels.
But she takes out Gentiloni first.
She does. Takes out Gentiloni, his mistress Brigitte, a bodyguard. Professional courtesy, perhaps, or just closing loops. For this hit, she uses another specialized piece of gear.
The ceramic gun.
Right. A ceramic, caseless, 9mm short pistol made in Brazil.
Ceramic to beat metal detectors, caseless, so no ejected shells.
Leaves almost no forensic trace. She dumps the gun immediately after. A perfect hit, designed to look like the mob war is just escalating. Keeps the focus off Plekhanov.
And with Gentiloni dealt with, she goes after her main target, Michaels, at NetForce HQ itself.
Infiltrates, disguised as Christine Wesson from Supply, uses Wesson's Virgil device.
To fake an injury, lure Michaels to the gym locker room.
Calls him, says Tony Fiorella's hurt in the gym, draws him to a less secure area, sets the trap.
And the confrontation, it's brutal.
Michaels walks right in. She shoots him immediately with a ceramic pistol, hits him in the thigh. Not fatal, but takes him down.
But Tony Fiorella, she wasn't actually injured. She was ready.
Tony was ready. She fights back using, let me get this right, Pukalan Penchak, Silat Bukti Negarwat Sarak.
Okay, you got to unpack that name.
Right. It's not like karate or something. It's Silat a deadly Indonesian martial art she learned from an old Dutch Indonesian woman. All about leverage, joint locks, pressure points, designed for close quarters, lethal takedowns.
So Tony uses this against the Selkie.
And mortally wounds her. It's a vicious, fast fight. Ends with the Selkie dying.
But before she dies,
yeah,
she gives Michaels the final confirmation.
He asks her straight up, "Who paid you to kill Steve Day?"
In her response,
she apparently laughs, this weird, liquid, bubbly sound, the source says, and tells him, "Don't know the name, never forget a target. He's not one of mine."
Confirms she was hired for Michaels and Gentiloni only.
Strongly implies the Day hit team and the whole setup came from Plekhanov, the ghost in Grozny, not the mob. It all fits.
So the assassin's dead, the mastermind is confirmed, the focus shifts immediately.
To Chechnya. Colonel John Howard and his NetForce strike team, elite guys, ex-SEALs, Green Berets, get the green light. Snatch and grab operation for Plekhanov.
High risk, deep inside foreign territory.
Very. They fly in low and slow. Hueys, minimal electronic footprint. Stealth is key.
But it doesn't go perfectly smooth.
No, there's a complication.
Right.
A transport truck breaks down, forces them to move through Grozny itself, leads to a brief firefight, they take some fire, lose one local asset. But Howard's team is disciplined. They get Plekhanov,
Mission accomplished. They extract him.
successfully retrieve him. But there's this chilling final scene described, shows Plekhanov's network is still out there.
Ruscio, the Chechen assassin who snatched Samson.
Yeah. He's watching Plekhanov arrive back at Quantico, disguised perfectly as a U.S. Marine sergeant, holding a scoped deer rifle.
He has a clean shot at Plekhanov, or even Michaels.
Perfect shot. Could take out Plekhanov to silence him or Michaels for revenge. He sees Plekhanov's been captured, thinks about it.
But he doesn't shoot.
No, he lowers the rifle, sticks to his own weird code, does not kill without reason.
Sure.
He figures there's no tactical need to kill either of them now,
Yeah.
and just vanishes, melts away.
The mastermind is caught, but his operatives, they're still out there.
Wow.
Hashtag outro.
So when you pull back and look at this whole net force crisis, what you see is really a template for modern conflict, isn't it? Vladimir Plekhanov, sitting in Grozny.
Weaves together old-school assassination with cutting-edge cyber warfare.
Exactly. Hires a top-tier hit team for the physical violence against Day, launches these massive, blinding cyber attacks globally to create chaos and distract net force.
And uses that perfectly crafted mob frame-up to keep everyone looking in the wrong direction. Misdirection layered on misdirection.
It was a really sophisticated, really dangerous machine he built. The big takeaway, I think, is that the threats we face now, they're not just hackers or just hitmen.
They're the people who can orchestrate both, combine physical and digital attacks, manipulate regional politics, all for strategic gain.
And Alex Michaels. He navigated all of that, got shot, faced incredible political heat, but he got the job done. Captured Plekhanov, managed to hold on to his position as acting commander, proved himself under immense pressure.
Definitely. But there's that final detail about Plekhanov's planning, something the sources reveal right at the end. It suggests maybe capturing him wasn't the end of the story.
Right. Plekhanov wasn't just thinking about the operation, he was thinking about the aftermath, even his potential defeat.
The sources suggest he deliberately kept records, detailed records, that implicated the very politicians in the central independent states who kind of owed him for their positions.
Yeah, politicians he helped put in power as part of his larger grand plan. He basically ensured that even if he was captured, these people couldn't just abandon him.
Because exposing him would mean exposing themselves, destroying their own careers.
Exactly. He built a safety net based on mutual self-interest, or maybe mutual destruction. He learned that self-interest was maybe more reliable than loyalty or gratitude.
Which leads us to that final, really provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider.
In this modern era, where digital and physical warfare are so intertwined, what constitutes real victory?
Is it just about winning the immediate battle, capturing the bad guy? Or is true long-term victory achieved when you ensure your rivals are so compromised, so entangled, that even when you technically lose, they're still forced somehow to serve your interests?
Something to definitely think about as we watch how these kinds of global games play out.